Hi. So in this particular video, we'll be understanding about Jetpack Compose and the students or the freshers, those who want to start their software development career in Android development. So this video will be very much helpful. So how basically Jetpack Compose works? So basically Jetpack Compose is built around composable functions, okay, and those functions let you define your UI programmatically by describing how it should look and providing data dependencies. So basically it's a function. We can just create a function just for example. So like for the UI to make, we have to create activity. You can see this activity is a class main activity, and this is a Kotlin class. Basically Jetpack Compose, we can create the UI Jetpack Compose that is using the Kotlin itself. Okay, so Kotlin is the official language, and this is the format of Kotlin class of activity. So activity is nothing but the screen what we can see in the, let's say we are opening any application like WhatsApp. So in the WhatsApp we are able to see that 3 tabs: one is chat, then status, and then some call. Okay, so the whole screen that we are seeing, that is nothing but the activity. Okay, so and so in this way we can create activity class name, like this is the activity name, and this is superclass component activity, and this is the on create is the overridden method, and this is the set content is the entry point for the composable. Basically it's a kind of lambda we can understand. So it is just for your understanding, it is the entry point to start the UI in composable. Set content, inside that we are this text we are just entering. So you can see there is no XML file here, simply set content. Inside the set content we are putting this text, and there is a text. So this text is this particular like text is also a composable function, but it is a predefined composable function. So that is why without any annotation, without any kind of composable annotation, it works. So now if I show you preview for this, okay, so this is the preview. Okay, so we can see in the device there is a hello world text is visible, right? So in this way it works. Now next is to make a function composable. Let's say we are creating our own let's create our own custom design. Let's we have a text, and below that a button, and then below that some list view kind of UI design. Okay, so to make that we have to create our own custom functions. Functions means it's a simple function, and we have to put all these the text, button, and list view, or whatever it is, we can put over that. I'm just saying for your understanding. Then how that particular function will work, how that particular function will show in this device, then we have to make it @composable. So this particular annotation @composable will do the like to preview in the screen, or for preview we can use this @preview, but to after building the application and we can see in the real device or emulator. So using the @composable, if we annotate it with @composable, we can see that particular view in the device. Okay, so to make function composable, and we have to use this @composable annotation to try it. So we can try now this one, and let's see. Okay, so this particular preview, 1 minute, I think it is not refreshing. It should show that okay, so I think, okay, so this is how basically this is not preview to this particular thing, but it was preview of this existing other one, but this is how we have to do, and we can see that. So in this video I will also show you in the Android Studio will be some demonstration on this, and we'll show that as well. Okay, so this particular @preview annotation will help to preview the UI right away in the screen. Like if without running the app, and if you want to see the preview, like what is how that particular function look like, then we can use this @preview, and we can see the view right away in the screen. In there's a view pane, we can see that. Okay, yeah. So now UI elements are hierarchical with elements contained in other. Now let's learn about some layout part, like how to design, how to put the views with respect to each other and with respect to the parent. So those kind of things also need to be that also need to understand. So okay, so UI elements are hierarchical with elements contained in other elements. In Compose, you build a UI hierarchy by calling composable function from other composable functions. Okay, so basically we have to call another composable function. We have to call it from the composable function itself. Okay, we cannot call a composable function from non-composable function, so that we have to take care. So now this is a kind of okay, this is another like UI. So where the text, like if you see this particular function message card, and inside that there are two text. Okay, text, one is author, one is body, and so this is, you can see this is overlapping on each other. That thing will be will be how that can be managed, that we'll getting to learn in the later part. Okay, so this is how any kind of custom function, custom design, we can do it, and just add the composable, and we can call it from another composable function, right? Yeah. Okay, now this particular thing, that overlapping was happening, now that how that can be fixed, that is using this column is another, column function lets you arrange elements vertically. So basically this column function will allow you placement of its children in a vertical manner, like one below another or one top another. Okay, so this particular like column, and inside that there are two text views are there, and you can see the preview here. The Android and Jetpack Compose both are placed one below another, like Android is in the top, and Jetpack Compose is in the below. Okay, and if we use row will be placed in the horizontal manner, means from left to right. I think as per the naming convention, you must be understanding like how this kind of how the column works, how the row works. I think as per the naming convention, you might have got some understanding on that. Okay, yes. So row will be placed. So here is an example of row. Row will be placing its children, like let's say we are putting one image and another column, inside the another column we have there are two text. So now you can see the first is the image is in the left side, and there is a column is in the right side. In the column there are two text, that is one above another, one is below, like Android and Jetpack Compose both are one below another. So that is how we can create some custom design easily using the help of Jetpack Compose. So configuring your layout, sometimes we need some modifications. Okay, so that is very also important to make those modifications, like we have to place it in the center part, or we need to add some space in the left side, right side, or so those kind of, we let's say add some space, and whatever, it completely depends upon our design. So that how that we can achieve using the modifier. There is a attribute modifier. Using that modifier we can achieve all these things. So here to decorate or configure a composable, Compose uses modifiers. They allow you to change the composable size, layout, appearance, or add high level interactions, such as making an element clickable. You can change them to create richer composables. You will use some of them to improve the layout. So this is how this is all about, like modifiers. So here we can see like how to add this modifier. Basically this particular view is a row. Okay, the top level view is the row. In the row we are passing a modifier. So modifier equal to modifier dot padding. Here all equal to 8 dp. That means we are passing like 8 dp of space all over, like in the left side, in the right side, in the top and bottom. We are adding that this kind of like like space or margin, we can say, that is of 8 dp in the every direction, like in the left and right, and then the top and bottom. Okay, so inside that we are adding this image and spacer. There is a spacer, like add horizontal space between the image and the column. So this is how the spacer has also a modifier, so that we are adding, and then another column. Now let's see the preview. Okay, now you can see. Now instead of that, like even here in the image also we are now making it the size. Like earlier that default size was there. Now we are putting some forcing some size here, like using the modifier equal to modifier dot size, that is 40 dp, and clip means we are making it as a circle size, that is clip image to saved as a circle. So we are making it as a circular size, right? And circular shape we can say. And then this is the how let me show you that preview. So you can see this image and text, also some space is also there in between these two text. Okay, and also there is some space in the outer part also, that is not much, that is why it is not showing. If instead of 8 dp, if I put 20 dp, then we can see that we can see that margin will be completely visible. Okay, so that is how we can use the modifiers to modify our view. Okay, now Compose is built to support. Next is some material design. We have to understand about it. Compose is built to support material design principles. Many of it UI elements implement material design out of the box. In this lesson, we will style your app using material design widgets. So some of the material design, because basically Android library is giving all these dependencies, or given all these facilities to create some to do some material design UI. Okay, so using that we can also design some material design kind of UI. Okay, so Jetpack Compose provides an implementation of material design 3 and its UI element out of the box. You will improve the appearance our message card composable using material design style. Okay, so this is how, like there is some let me show you. Okay, here in the set content, basically this is the entry point of our composable, and inside that composable tutorial theme, basically this theme is inside that we can put this surface modifier equal to modifier fill max size. Message card is another, like basically it's a another function also, message card. Inside that we are passing this message and Android Jetpack Compose. So now this particular thing, like the same thing, like we are using the surface and a message card, but to preview it we are this is the preview actually. Okay, so this is basically the example of the material theme, like material design. We are adding some material design, and so accordingly. Okay, okay, now you can see actually sometimes this preview appearance like depends upon the sometimes it is updating is taking some time. So you can see this dark theme. Now this in the preview, that name light mode, and in the preview you can use using this dark mode. UI mode equal to configuration UI mode night, yes, and show background equal to true, name equal to dark mode. So using this particular dark mode theme, then now it is showing us like dark, the background is completely like black, or you can say dark. As per that, automatically the text color is also now getting changed, like you can see the white color text and the background black color. So that is using this UI mode night, I mean this particular configuration, UI mode equal to configuration UI underscore mode underscore night underscore yes. So accordingly we can design and configure all these things. Now let's learn about list and animations. List and animations are everywhere in the apps. Yeah, so basically in most of the applications we have to implement this list of data. Okay, so that is how list of data and some animations to while we interacting or updating the particular list. Some animations also need to use just to make it more interactive, and depends upon our requirement, depends upon the requirement. So list and animations need to be implemented in the Android application. Okay, so to make it, how it can be possible using this this lazy column basically helps to make a particular list, and here it is the conversation function. It is a composable function. We are annotating it, and let's send the data. So that particular function accept a list of message. Okay, that is the name of the object is messages, and in the lazy column there is a there is a default this items. This in the items it is passing that messages, and so this is a lambda, and we can use this message to display it. We are again then calling this message card, and how to show that particular, I mean that each item, basically a list. Let me explain you a little bit more about it. So every list has a row, right? Let's say a list contains 10 items, that means 10 rows, right? So each row we can also need to design, we have to design it properly. So there is a first parent view is the list view, I mean we have to make it as a list view. So how to achieve that list view? Using the lazy column, right? That is one thing. Second one is each item of the lazy column is nothing but a row. That also we row or any single item, so that we need to also design as per the requirement. So this message card is nothing but, we can say it's each item of that particular lazy column. Now each item here has a image and a particular title and some description. Okay, so that also need to design how to place each of those. So accordingly we can create that. So this is another, like just for preview, this is a composable composable tutorial theme, another composable function. Inside that this conversation, another composable function. We are just for the preview, it's only for preview, but actually implementation to show in the device, this is the first, I mean if you see the cursor here, this part will be the actual implementation, but this is only for the preview part. Okay, yeah, I hope you understand this. So let's understand some of the animations, like click on a particular row, and how there is some touch feel visibility is also there. We can see there is some that kind of animation we can also achieve, or any other animation also we can achieve. So for these things there is we can see this particular there is some changes here, like the conversion is getting more interesting. It's time to play with animations. You will add the ability to expand a message to show a longer one, animating both the content size and the background color. To store this local UI state, you need to keep track of whether a message has to be expanded or not. To keep track of this state change, you have to use the function remember and mutable state of. Okay. So basically let me explain about little bit about this mutable state of, like if you see this particular like mutable state of and remember. So mutable state of basically it's a whenever we are adding a particular variable, and we are making it as a mutable state of, that means whenever the variable will get changed, the Android system will try to recompose that particular function. I mean basically the composition happens multiple times. Okay, so I mean you can understand as rebuilding the UI. Let's say one function, inside that we are putting a mutable state of variable, and whenever that particular variable, let's say one integer variable, okay, and the initial value is 1, and whenever for any UI interaction, for any reason, when the value will be getting changed to other values, then the function which is the composable function which contains this particular variable will again rebuild itself. That is nothing but recomposition. Okay, and this remember will keep the state of that particular data. Like always it will keep the state of that data after the recomposition. So that is what the meaning of remember is. So here it is also mentioned, we keep track if the message is expanded or not in the variable. So this is a variable only, like this is, we can say it's a boolean variable where is expanded by remember mutable state of false. If you see this particular line, so this is a boolean variable. This is syntax like boolean variable, but we are making it this format, like var is expanded by remember inside the bracket, like this is a mutable state of false. So initial value is false, right? The initial value of this is expanded is false. Now whenever we are expanding or click on this particular list item, and then we'll be making it true, right? So that whenever we'll be making it true, it will recompose this particular function or composable function. Okay, so then after recomposable, it will again change that particular view. And how to maintain the state of that this particular is expanded variable? By using the remember. Okay, so there are two things. One is mutable state of that will helps to recompose the composable function whenever it will get changed, and next is the remember will keep the state of that particular variable after recomposition. Okay, yeah, I hope you understand. And this is a column. We are using some modifier dot clickable is expanded equal to not equal to is expanded. If it is not the previous value, then we have some changes here, like some text, and text we are taking it from the author, from the message, and then color, some changes, and surface, it's like shape, material, theme, shape, medium. So it is just to how to make that particular animation. All these custom modifications are there. So in the text we are showing some body and modifiers, so we are using this, we have applied some padding. Then max lines, if expanded, then this much, like or else 1. Okay, if it is expanded, the maximum line should be the maximum value it has, or if it is not expanded, then it should be show in the one line, single line. So that is how it is. Let me show you the preview. So you can see after click on that, it is expanding to the complete text description, and after when it is collapse, then it is showing in a single line. Okay, so I think you understand about this remember and mutable state of how it works, and about recomposition also. Okay, so this is an overview of the Jetpack Compose. Now I'll take you to the Android Studio. There we can see a demo application where all these views has been created, and we can see that also. So I have created this particular like app. So now what we can see is, okay, I'll show you that. First let understand this project, what are the dependencies, and let first understand that. So this is the root label Gradle file. Here we are adding all these plugins like Android application Kotlin Compose. Then this is the module label Gradle file. So there are, every Android application has two these two Gradle files. One is the project level Gradle file, build.gradle.kts. Another is the module level Gradle file. So module can be multiple modules, but primarily there is a primary modules will be there initially. So this default module, we can say this one. So in the default module, this is the plugins. Then this is the Android block, where we have to specify the compile SDK version, then application ID, main SDK version, target SDK version code, version name, and everything. And this is the compile options, then packaging options, and these are the dependencies. You can see dependencies means the library is what we need to achieve the particular view, or what as per the requirement, whatever dependent libraries we need, that we need to add in the dependencies block. Okay, now this is the Gradle properties, and this is the library, whatever libraries we are using. This is leaves.versions.toml file. Here we have to add all these Gradle plugin version, whatever JUnit version, then Kotlin version, all these dependent libraries, whatever versions we need, that we have to specify in this. Okay, then let's go to this, and there is a one activity only, and this is the main folder where we have created the composable UI. So this is the main activity. You can see this is the main activity, and this is extending this component activity, and inside that enable S to S. This is a method which will enable S to S. This is a system defined thing, so no need to worry about that, just to understand about it. And then in the set content is the entry point of Jetpack Compose, and you are using this Jetpack Compose UI theme. This is a scaffold is a we can say it's a view, parent view. Okay, inside that there is a modifier. As I have explained you, like modifier is basically for modifying a particular view. And this is the top bar, because scaffold contains a top bar and the body. Okay, so this is the top bar. In the top bar we have some modifications. Then there's the title, color, everything is there. There's the inner padding, and this is the box means it's again a composable function. Inside that we are calling the demo screen. Demo screen is basically our own user defined function, where we are this is a composable function. Okay, so we will be showing all this view. Now let me open the demo screen. Now you can see this demo screen is a composable function, right? This is where we have to understand all these views that we have created. So in the demo screen, this is a lazy column. Lazy column means to make a list view. This is the modifier. Modifier says make it fill max size and padding 16 dp in every direction, like top, down, and left and right. Vertical arrangement equal to arrangement dot space by 16 dp. We are putting some 16 dp of space in each items. Okay, then now each item, like so in this particular lazy column there is some fixed items are there. We are not adding some dynamic items, so this is some fixed items are there. So each item has some different views. First one is the text. So in the text there is some style and all. Then second item is the button example. So button example is another composable function, right? And in the next there is the text field composable. So everyone is a composable function here. So like this is the text field, then card example, then selection control example, then progress indicator example, row column example, then text, some of the text are also there. So and finally there is some list also. We are showing this list view. Okay, so this is how it is. So now if I scroll down, you can see this button, like how it is created. So this is, as I have told you, we are taking a variable by remember mutable int state of. So this is advanced name of the mutable state. This is for the integer. We can use mutable int state of, and the initial value is 0. When the value will be increasing, it will recompose this particular function. It will recompose this particular view. Okay, then it will be rebuilt itself. That is the beauty of this this particular line. And here is the column and text spacer. Then this is the row. Once I click on this click me, it will add this counter value and it will show in this particular view. Okay, and then next is text view example. This is outline text field. And on value change, it will enter something and we can enter something. It will show that in that particular text field. Then card example. So card basically means it's a kind of view which has some elevation. It will show like some on top of the screen there is some like it will feel like a card. It has some it has some elevation on the screen. Okay, so that kind of view it is. And we are using some column. And this is again row and column example. So this is how all these views has been created. So now if I run it, okay, now you can see this is our emulator. In the emulator this particular screen is visible. Now click me. I am clicking, the number of times I am clicking, the value is getting changed here. You can see this 7, now it is 8, it is 9, 10, like that. So whenever the value, the integer value is increasing, it is recomposing this particular function, and it is after that it is rebuilding its view and to show that updated view. That is how the composable function works, and how the recomposition also works. That also I think you understand on this. And after click on reset, as per the logic we have implemented, that is getting to resetting to 0. The next one is, this is a field. We can enter any value, and after entering, it is showing that particular value. That is also recomposing itself, okay, to show that particular value. and this is the card and title. This is the card. I mean, it has some elevation. It is showing like some height on it has some height kind of thing. That is nothing but the elevation. Okay, and then next is, we can see, okay, now this is the checkbox. This is checkbox, like we can check like that. And this is switch. Switch is like, it's a toggle, like on or off kind of thing. This is slider. And this one is a progress indicator. Then this is a row and column. Okay, so this kind of basic views we can create using the composable function very easily, using the help of composable in Android development, native Android development. I hope you understand about the Jetpack Compose and how we can use it as much as you try with different custom views, and you'll be getting to learn itself more and more. So I hope you understand, and if you like this particular video, please share to others, and don't forget to subscribe and like this particular video, and you'll be getting more on this kind of like video. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next.